Welcome to the LA Confidential Podcast. I'm Christopher Elliott, and I'm here with Aiden Elliott and Aren Elliott, and
Yes.
we are in Zürich, Switzerland.
Yes.
Yes.
With two yes men.
Yes.
We're very yes-like men.
You
We've been inspired.
Well, you haven't been yes men to me today. All
We
day,
look like the
but
word.
now you are.
We look like the word yes.
Okay.
We can discombobulate ourselves into the shape of like a Y, an E, and an S.
I am so sorry that it's been 2 weeks since our last podcast.
Yes, we know that you've been waiting for that juicy bit about Israel, and we haven't gotten it to you. So, without further ado,
Well, let's talk a little bit about Israel and a lot about Switzerland because we've been in Switzerland for 2 weeks now, and we have a lot to say about that. But before we do that, let's get to our question of the week, which is, what is the most expensive vacation that you've ever had? And we're asking because we're in Switzerland and it is expensive here completely.
geez, I mean, it's no joke. You can expect to pay 3 times more here. Just saying, you know.
Today, well, we were at a boarding school visiting with some people who we knew called the Institut am Rosenberg, and they said that they would estimate, the director general there said the vacations are probably 30 to 40% more expensive than on average.
Yeah, but they also try to cut the competition by making everything just better.
It's true, yes. They're raising the bar, trying to have a better vacation experience. Anyway, so our question is, please tell us about the most money you've spent on vacation. Tell us your stories, your horror stories about spending more than you thought you had, being broadsided with fees and extras, and coming home with no money.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. Anyway, why don't we talk about Israel and kind of wrap that up? Because I think that we've had a chance to process what happened to us in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Aiden, any thoughts about Israel now that you've had some, perspective?
Well, I don't really remember much from Israel because I was overworked when we were in Israel. Not by you, Father, of course. Guys, don't go into the comments. Don't go into the comments saying that my father overworks me. It wasn't for my father. It was video editing in school and such. But that's all behind me now. As far as what I do remember about Israel, the food was impeccable.
Okay, you did 2 things with us. Well, in Jerusalem, you did 2 things with us, and then in Tel Aviv.
One of them involved food.
We went to the market and got food.
Yes, and then falafels, all that stuff.
So
amazing.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone refer to falafels as impeccable, but okay. And then we also did the
Divine.
Divine. Divine is a good word to be using in Jerusalem. And then we also
Oh yeah,
very good.
Yeah, nice.
We also went to the tunnels underneath the Western Wall.
Yeah.
That one was interesting. I
thought
that
so
one,
too.
Quite insightful and
If you go there, a lot of people just stop where they're praying at the Western Wall and they watch. But there is a tour that you can take of they're old cisterns and
And the staff there are kind of mischievous and goofy because when we were there and one of the sections of the wall got flooded, they put goldfish in there to freak people out. That's pretty zany, if I'm being honest.
Okay, we're gonna work through all of your synonyms for zany.
Yes, I have. I've been putting together and collecting all the synonyms for goofy, and I just am saying them at every opportunity I can.
Well,
so
you'll have an opportunity here.
For the listeners, you will hear all of them today.
Aren, I thought we might talk about the Museum of Islamic Art because it was fascinating.
Oh yeah, I think. Well, we were there. We had already walked all day, so we were quite tired.
We were exhausted. Yeah.
When we got there, it was a very interesting concept. They have this iPad with QR codes, and they allow you to see art in maybe a way that they believe a Muslim would see the art. So that way it builds cultural connections and whatnot. And otherwise, it's just a very interesting museum with a lot of interesting Islamic art. And definitely worth a visit if you go to Jerusalem.
Yeah. What I thought was really interesting was that they are really doing an outreach to the Muslims who live in Jerusalem and to the Jewish community, because they want people to understand what the two have in common, which is a lot, actually. So I thought that was really interesting. We also got comments from people who are asking, did I talk to any Palestinians? Yes, our driver was Palestinian. We took a cab, and he spent a lot of time talking about what it's like to be Palestinian and live in Jerusalem. And surprisingly, he had some positive things to say. He said he liked the healthcare. Like, if you want to get healthcare in Israel, it's free. It's something you pay your taxes and you get free healthcare. In the Palestinian territories, there's no healthcare system. You have to pay to.
Even when you say Palestinian territories, you're still going to get people saying, no, it's all Israel.
Okay, well, we're not going there.
Yeah.
The question is, would we go back to Israel?
I think that that question I can answer pretty succinctly. Sure, not on the top of my priority, but it's an interesting place. It, for me, has a lot of cool cultural things like markets, architecture.
If I am
hummus.
really craving a good falafel, I will
Fly to Israel.
I will fly to Israel. I will go to Tel Aviv. I will go to that market that we went to, that our food journalist friend showed us, that exact place that we only had to sample at.
It's the Levinsky
I should have
market.
gotten a full one, because that was the best falafel I had had in my entire life. I should have gone back I should have gone to an ATM and got cash, because technically they only took cash. Yeah. Wait. No, not that place. Jerusalem, that one vegan wrap that we had. It wasn't a falafel. It was a shawarma.
I remember that.
Vegan
that
shawarma.
Was so good.
With all these different types of vegan meat substitutes, but that didn't really matter. It was the seasoning. That guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it was huge, and you ate the whole thing. I can't believe it. And
I could have eaten
which is
too.
like one of those anacondas eating an alligator.
I could have avocadoed it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh goodness.
yeah.
But if you really enjoy if you really enjoy Israel and what it has to offer, go there. But for me, I think that, overall, I'm not so madly in love with Israel. Like, it's competitive with other places nearby. Like, if I were given the opportunity to go to Cyprus or to Israel or to some other place near Israel, I think I would go to Cyprus just for those tahina pitas.
You want to go to the tahina pitas? It's all about the food. I would go back. I think there's more to discover there. And the Israelis that I met were very friendly. I was surprised. I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't expect them to be so friendly. They were really nice, and they treated us very warmly, and I felt very welcome there. So I would go. And it's a very historic destination too. I mean, it's not without its problems, but there's more to be seen. So hopefully. But I do want to say one thing though. Israel has a reputation for being so security conscious. And when we came in from Cyprus and we had to show our passports and all that stuff, I thought that we were going to get interrogated. Instead, we just walked right through.
Yeah, they didn't even look at our passport. Even.
Yeah,
we
had to scan it, but they didn't.
Okay, yeah, you're right. They scanned it, but
and
they saw that we were in a group that as a family, and then they just gave us these little pieces of paper and they said, go right through.
Well, the interesting thing is that in Israel, they use technology to assess the threat before you get on the flight. Yeah. So they don't wait till you're there to say, oh, you look suspicious. So they had already had our passport numbers, and they had already run our passports to make sure that we were not, terrorists or anything like that.
And they would have never even let us on the plane in the first place if they
Exactly. I don't think they would have. But once we got there, it was like, yep, here, walk through. Yeah. And we did not even, no stamp in the passport. The Israelis don't stamp their passport. Anyway, all good stuff. This is the LA Confidential Podcast, and I am Christopher Elliott, joined by my sons, Aren and Iden Elliott. And remember our question of the week, which is, what's the most you've ever spent on a vacation? Tell us about your most expensive vacation. So let's get to Switzerland, shall we?
Yeah, we went from Istanbul because we had a stop over there.
Yeah, we flew to Istanbul, right.
And then we finally got to Mulhouse, which is in France. And then we finally arrived in
That's a
Basel.
Euro airport.
Yeah, Mulhouse Euro Airport. It's just like,
When you say Euro airport, I think of guys at like a rave, going, "Hi, welcome to the Euro airport." Yeah.
When he says Mulhouse, I think of The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, right. So we're living in Basel at a really nice Blue Ground rental. We love Blue Ground, and it is close to everything. It's probably It's 2 blocks away from the main train station, the Hauptbahnhof. Cool time to be here. The weather is not too cold, although we've had a couple of cooler days, and it's just it's like a small town, but it is the third largest city in Switzerland, and it's just got a lot of really cool art galleries and museums, and
Big Pharma.
Big Pharma on the other side of town. That's true. Aaron, you and I have done some things while Aiden is busy working, and we should say that Aiden, you've been working on your YouTube videos, and your channel is doing very well, and we're very proud of you.
Yes.
But Aaron, you and I we took a bike ride out to Germany.
Deutschland.
Yeah, and what did you think of? We took an e-bike that we rented at the
first we
train
went.
station.
We went and we saw a bunch of these museums. We saw the Bayerly Center.
Yeah, the Fondation.
Yeah, Bayler Center.
Which has a French name even though it's in Germany.
Yeah, Fondation Bayerly. And
with some great modern art.
I have a question for you guys.
Liechtenstein's there.
I have a question for you guys. When you were in Germany, did you do anything mischievous?
We actually went into a bakery. The moment we crossed the border, I said, I got to go to a bakery. And because we love German bread, and they didn't take credit cards.
Oh,
and then I didn't have euros.
That bakery is so quirky and deceitful.
Okay, see, I knew you were going to try to use your synonyms.
I have a list right on my computer right here.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, but there was an exhibit there on robots and humans interacting. And I thought that was kind of
yeah,
cool.
they were interested in like making sure that the robots paid their taxes. Bob zahlt keine Steuer.
Steuer. Okay, now
Auf
I'm
Wiedersehen,
fun with
Bob.
German.
Auf Wiedersehen, Bob.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
this popular saying in German that our father recently taught us. It's ich zahle keine Steuern.
Okay, I didn't teach you that.
You taught us
I did
that,
not.
and
That was something
I've been
you learned
going up
from
to like
TikTok.
I've been going up to like these government officials and police officers walking around, and I go up to them and I'm like, ich zahle keine Steuern. I have been tased 4 times since coming to Switzerland.
Okay.
They really want you to pay your
That's great.
taxes.
I hope you enjoy that.
Yeah. Maybe I like it.
Maybe you do.
Yeah.
Well,
Some sick fantasy of mine. Sorry, let's move on.
Yeah, this is no one is gonna understand that you got this Zare keine Steuern
It means
from
wait,
TikTok.
Guys.
It's a TikTok meme.
For the audio listeners, ich zahle keine Steuern means I don't pay taxes.
I don't pay taxes.
I don't pay taxes, which is true. I'm a minor.
Yeah,
But pretty soon I'm going to be paying taxes.
Well, you don't
got
pay,
that YouTube money coming in.
Even so, you wouldn't be paying taxes in Switzerland.
You're right. So
But we found out though that
Schweizer Steuern.
Schweizer Steuern.
Schweizer Steuern.
But I found out that if you go down to Chur, which is down farther south, that canton has really low taxes. So a lot of the really rich people move there.
Oh, I thought it was Tuk.
Okay, well,
Why do they have good infrastructure?
I think they do have good infrastructure.
Oh, maybe it's
Switzerland.
like a federal infrastructure.
Right, as a part of the Confederation. I don't know. That's what.
That sounds wrong as an American.
Okay, but it's
part of the Confederation.
CH
part of
is
the
Confederación Helvetica.
Okay.
So you see the CH stickers on the cars. Anyway, so we were talking about Basel and the Herbstmesse, the fall fair, and
Magenbrot.
And we've done 2 walking tours so far.
Leckerli.
Yeah, we met. Okay, we went and met.
You need to
guys.
send pictures of the packaging for Leckerli.
Okay,
Leckerli.
Why don't you explain what Leckerli is? Because you've been eating a lot of it.
Leckerli is delicious, and it is better than any gingerbread.
It's gingerbread.
It's gingerbread.
But it's kind of chewy gingerbread.
It's super chewy. Oh
yes.
My goodness. It's better than any gingerbread you'll ever have. Crunchy gingerbread that's kind of stale. No, not for me. I like the chewy gingerbread, especially when it has a guy sticking out his tongue on the packaging.
Yes.
And you can put the tongue in and take the tongue out. You need to put the picture.
If I can get a
story.
picture of that, yes.
That is the best packaging
So
ever.
we went to this place called that makes the Leckerli.
Yes.
And
You went to
Jacob's Basler Leckerli.
Yes, Basler Leckerli.
Basler Leckerli.
They are okay. As a journalist, I've toured many businesses, And when you ask a question that they don't want to answer because there's a trade secret or something like, they'll say, "Look, we really can't talk about that." Well, we were in there with this guy, and everything was a trade secret. "You can't take pictures in here," he said. Okay, so I said, "How long do you keep the gingerbread in the oven?" He wouldn't tell us. He said, "Short and hot." He said, "I'm not going to tell you anymore." and I knew that if I asked him what the recipe was, he would be like, "Yeah, are you kidding me?" But everything right down to the way that they glazed their gingerbread was a secret. They would not tell us how they did it.
I wish I went there. Now I'm never going to find out the secrets.
And the guy who ran it had an MBA from Northwestern. So we were talking about the States, but he was Swiss. So he totally understood. He understood journalists and their American journalists and their questions. Like, we'll ask anything, right? So that was kind
anything for a story.
Anything. That's right. Or is it never let the facts get in the way of a good story? Well, it's something like that.
Yeah, the facts don't matter as long as you feel right and it makes you feel good.
That's the new journalism, right?
Yeah.
So our overall assessment of Basel is yes, good, thumbs up, and we'll have more in future podcasts. Should we do Zurich or should we save that for next week?
We haven't done enough in Zurich, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do Zurich and St. Gallen next week. So stay tuned for next week's podcast because we're going to be going to the mountains tomorrow. I'm really excited about that.
The mountains.
To the Alps.
Alps.
And it's way right on the Italian border.
You think we can go skiing a little bit?
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I wish I could take you guys with us. I wish I could take all my readers.
You're not going to take us with you?
Listeners, no, my listeners.
Oh,
I just sometimes I feel like the only way of really showing you what's going on is to bring you along. And I don't know how many. We have a couple of thousand people who, maybe more, who listen to this. So it might be impractical to do that. Our question of the week is most expensive vacation that you've ever had. And so don't forget to share that with us. Let's do our comments from last week. Last week I asked what vacation changed your life the most. Christine writes, "One place I've been to that's changed my life forever is Sweden, where a handshake is a contract. I went for my first time to visit my mother's family. Her cousin and I went shopping for a video camera for him, and he wasn't sure. And the owner of the store told him to take it home and try it, and if he didn't like it, he could return it before he paid for it. That was 18 years ago. Can you believe that? That's just never done. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a lot of trust. Sweden is on our list. I would like to go to Sweden very much.
Yeah. We
have a good friend who lives in Sweden, and he's been asking, when are you guys going to make it up here? Judy says, the place that changed me forever was South Africa.
Oh, South Africa.
She says she was a Rotary Exchange student in Cape Town for a year and also traveled to what is now Namibia and Zimbabwe. For a girl from the rural Midwest who had never even seen the ocean before landing in Cape Town, the cultural, geographical, and racial and educational and all the other differences had me slack-jawed daily. Now, would you guys say that when we were in South Africa, you were slack-jawed? I think there were sometimes maybe when we were.
Not really. I mean, but there are certain things where it's just like, yeah, it's South Africa. I don't know how else to describe it, where you just see an abundance of poverty and misery, and then you see stunning mountains and really interesting stuff over there.
Yeah, it's a lot of contrast there, that's for sure. Judy writes, on my first visit to Israel about 30 years ago, I visited a kibbutz, seemingly a shadow's distance from Lebanon on the north and with a view of Jordan to the east from my guest bedroom window. On a tour of the kibbutz, I was shown an air raid room and was told that each block of homes had such a room. I asked, when was the last time you had to use it? And they said 9 months ago. Made me appreciate Israel and the residents even more than before. Magnificent country. Okay, I don't like the idea of having to use an air raid safe room, but I think that makes Israel more interesting somehow, doesn't it?
Yep. Oh man, that sounds actually like really like a really cool experience.
Going into an air raid room,
yeah. Even you know.
We're at the end of our podcast. I'm so glad you guys joined us. My name is Christopher Elliott, and on behalf of Aren and Iden Elliott, we're so glad that you joined us. We're in Switzerland for a few more weeks. We hope you'll join us next time on the Elliott Confidential podcast. Bye.
Bye-bye.